What percentage of this recruiting is happening just through the devices we carry in our pockets all day?
Everything.
What do you wish people knew that you think they are unaware of about what you do?
My ex's good friend's husband was then arrested for child material, and my kids were at his house at one point.
How's your faith in humanity?
Eventually it could change. The people are the ones that can make the change.
Well, it starts with them being aware of what the problem is.
Correct. We have to change the laws in the US. We have to change the funding for this fight.
Well, I think in addition to changing the funding and changing the laws, we have to change the way that we talk about it. Yeah.
It's fucking tragic.
What percentage of this recruiting is happening just through the devices we carry in our pockets all
everything.
day?
It's so many children are being manipulated.
What do you wish people knew that you think they are unaware of about what you do?
That's a good question. Just help out, be aware that this is everywhere. It will get real if it happens to you. And you hope to, when I was going through forensic school, turns out my ex's good friend's husband was then arrested for child material, and my kids were at his house at one point. While I'm going through this fucking forensic school, I'm about to have lose my fucking mind. And I was like, Jesus, hopefully they weren't abused. Hopefully they weren't one of the victims. And it's when it gets real, when it starts touching you, you're close to home, then you're I want to do something about it. And so I think don't wait until then. Get involved in any which way you can. Maybe some younger generations get into the law enforcement side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, if people are interested in what we've been talking about, where can they find you? Where can they help what you have going on?
FoundationSentinel.org is our website. They go to info@FoundationSentinel.org if they have questions. It's a mailbox to get involved. There's organizations like Operation Lightshine that are here in the US. The Tim Tebow Foundation, that organization does amazing work. With us. So we have some partners in here that work in the US. We do a lot of international, but you tell us where you want to get involved at, we'll gladly try to help you. Yeah.
What do you want to close with?
It's one, I appreciate you having me on here. I think, like we said, we're not going to rescue our way out of this. I think that the people need to stand up. They need to get involved. They have to talk to their politicians. I think we need an administration in the U.S. that focuses on children's safety. Real children's safety. Why are we spending so much money internationally when we're not taking care of our home front? $500 million or whatever we could put into this fight is needed.
Yeah. How's your faith in humanity?
Man.
Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty guy?
Oh, half full for sure, man.
Even after everything you've been exposed to?
Yeah, for sure. I think the more people in this fight, the more we grow. Eventually it could change. The people are the ones that can make the change.
Well, it starts with them being aware of what the problem is.
Correct. Yeah. Uniting, standing up. Coming together to really make a difference. I think we have to change the laws in the US. We have to change the funding for this fight. Internationally, helping out these countries, it's an onslaught of people from the US traveling, people from Europe traveling these foreign countries and raping these children. And then they're coming back and they're in the society here. You don't think that they're going to do it here. They just don't have the opportunity. It's not as easy.
Well, I think in addition to changing the funding and changing the laws, we have to change the way that we talk about it. And by that, I mean, it needs to be elevated in the conversation and not forgotten about. I mean, again, going all the way back to what we talked about in the beginning, kids are helpless.
Yeah.
They're not emotionally equipped, mentally equipped, physically equipped, and they're the most vulnerable people we have in our society, and they're also the next generations. Why would we not make them the absolute pinnacle of what it is that we're paying attention to?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, for it. So I would say one last thing is just give a shout out to, there's not one person in this fight. I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of legends. I think some of the guys and girls from our community need to do more. They can take those skill sets from war and the experience we have as wars are dying down and getting in this fight.
Yeah.
Reach out. We need more people in the fight. There's a time shelf of how long people can do this work. And so
I think some of that is built around the fact they just don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I had no, like we were talking about before we started recording, in my conversations with Deliver Fund, I assumed that trafficking, when the term trafficking was used, was sexual in nature only. And there is a large portion of that. I didn't realize, unskilled laborers, even skilled laborers, there is the sexual aspect to it, but they were giving me examples from hotel cleaning, like any type where there's a go-between that is controlling a large group of people or manipulating them in some way underneath. I had no idea that the problem was as big as it was. And growing up in California where I did, I probably saw it every single day, and it was invisible. I didn't start paying attention to it, and I'm ashamed to admit this, until much later in life because I just didn't know. And I think that's probably the case with a lot of the people that we used to work with and for. I mean, think about how good they are at their job. If you can give them the 2 Fs, right, the find, fix, they live to finish. So you're going to have to get over that hurdle, like take it easy, buddy.
Yeah.
Leave the gun in the safe.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
I have another target for you that you can be, honestly, probably more passionate about than some of the ideological people that we were going after overseas.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many people that have so many skill sets they've learned from the government, and getting into this work, and like we said, you don't have to be poor to do nonprofit work. Like you can still do this work. You're not too busy, right? It's just time management. If you're going to do this or start getting involved, and then eventually it could be a full-time position,
I think awareness is a huge component of it. So thank you for taking the time to come out, man.
Dude, thank you so much for having me out here. So.
Yeah, right on. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. If you want to learn more about Glenn and his organization, please visit the Sentinel Foundation website, which is foundationsentinel.org. If you want to expand your knowledge base beyond that, please check out the following organizations. These are just a few among many. OperationLightshine.org, the Tim Tebow Foundation, timtebowfoundation.org, and there is, of course, the National Sex Offender Registry, which you can be found at www.nsopw.gov. Most importantly, and probably the most impactful thing that you can do, is talk to your kids and educate them about the threats and danger that could potentially be around them at all times. See you guys next episode.